Good afternoon, everyone, and I'd like to welcome you today to the Akron Rotary Club's weekly meeting. Today is Tuesday, August the 24th, and it's all official now. And at this time, I'd like to invite Katie Miller to come and lead us in the invocation.
Hi, everybody. As we begin this time together, may you give each of us the wisdom and grace in our dealings with each other, others in our respective organizations, and those others who we come in contact with today. Also help us to see the many good things around us and ways we can be a blessing to someone we encounter today. Help our words to be positive, and in those instances where they must provide correction, clear and seasoned with humility rather than arrogant and destructive. Amen.
Amen. Thank you, Katie. So where are you today, Miss Katie? Where are you located today?
We're in Medina County, so we're like 3 miles from West Salem and about 5 miles from Lodi, so we're right between the two.
You are a brave soul in this heat. God bless you.
It's lovely. I'm under a tree. I have a fantastic breeze, and in 2 hours I'll be next to a pool, so it's good.
Well, thank you. Hey, I'm going to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, and I'd like to stand when I do this. So if you would join me. I pledge allegiance
to the flag
of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, with liberty and justice for all. And now for our four-way test. Is it the truth? Is it fair to all concerned? Will it build goodwill and better friendships? And will it be beneficial to all concerned? So I think we've got a couple of visitors. I know that we're inducting 3 new members today, so this is going to be a very special day. David Hall, I think you're our greeter for today.
Yes, thanks, Steve. Yeah, so and looking here, I believe Candace Harmon is a guest today. Candace, would you like to say hello?
Hi, everyone. I think I'm actually being inducted. I'm being inducted today, as far as I remember.
All right, very good. And Tina Boys, you're a guest as well today.
Yes, hi.
Hey, welcome. Thank you. And then we have Claudine Schooley, one of our former members. It's great to see you, Claudine.
Hey, good to see you.
Right,
hi to everybody.
Yeah, welcome. I believe that is it. Unless anybody else a guest that I'm missing? Anybody else have a guest with them? I think that's it, Steve.
Thank you, David. I appreciate that. Hey, Claudine, we're not going to let you get off that easy with just saying a simple hello. I mean, being the fact that you were part of our club for just about 3 years, why don't you take a minute or so and fill us in, a couple of minutes and fill us in on what's been going on in your busy world, because you're always busy.
I'm always busy. I just came back from my vacation from France, by the way. I spent 3 weeks in France. What I want to tell you is we are going to celebrate our 1 year of ICC, Intercountry Committee with Ukraine. And right now, I am helping to create more intercountry committee, one with Spain and the United States, and another one with Colombia and the United States. So you see, I am busy. I am also preparing a trip to Ukraine to visit the project on April, and I'm preparing this trip with our Brian Chima agency, and I will let you know, when the trip is ready. So maybe some people from the club can join this wonderful trip. Okay, so.
Well, thank you. Do you happen to have any type of an update on what is happening with the wheelchairs?
Yes, this is going to be a global grant, and we are presenting this as a Heart of Europe global grant. we are not sure that it will be accepted as an art of Europe because it's with USAID and Rotary International. But if it is not accepted by USAID, we are planning to do just a regular global grant. And we are currently working on it, and hopefully it will be at the end of the year. We are hoping we can get approved for this grant.
Okay, and the prototype has been approved?
The prototype, yeah, they are working on it, and it will be presented to Ukraine with this grant. But the good thing is we are going to train the medical profession of Ukraine how to use wheelchair. This is the first step. So the grant will help to raise money to train the medical profession. And then the CUB, the new wheelchair, pediatric wheelchair, will be introduced in the same time with the training. So
Wow,
this is the plan. Yeah.
That is absolutely fantastic news.
That's a big
and,
plan. Yeah.
A number of you may remember that when Claudine was with us and she had shared this vision that there had been a team from the University of Akron that had been working on coming up with this prototype of a wheelchair for the country of Ukraine. And I can tell you, having lived there in 1995 and 1996, there really are not many good, solid services, as it were, for the handicap. And
That's
so
correct.
this is meeting a significant need, and that could even then springboard into other parts of the former Soviet Union.
Yep, absolutely.
So thank
It's
you.
a very exciting project.
Well, keep up the great work that you do. Hey, do
Thank
we
you.
have any Rotary ambassadors? I'm trying to see anybody. Okay. All right, then at this time, I'm going to have one of our newer members, Miss Olivia Pylan. She's going to be sharing with us about a moment in our history and then what's happening around Akron.
Hi, everybody. So our Rotary history moments today. Dr. Rex Wilson was our Rotary president from 1956 to 1957. And then around the United States, Dwight D. Eisenhower was our president. Average income was $4,454. A postage stamp cost 3 cents. Milk cost 97 cents a gallon. Coffee was 69 cents a pound. A Ford car cost between $1,700 and $3,100. Spare ribs were only 39 cents a pound. And if you're a beer drinker, Rheingold beer costs $1.20 for 6 12-ounce cans. And then other news around the world, Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. was found guilty in an Alabama court of law for organizing a bus boycott. He vowed to use passive resistance and the weapon of love in the fight for human rights. Actress Grace Kelly married Prince Rainier III of Monaco. Soviet tanks and troops invaded Hungary. Nelson Mandela was arrested in South Africa and charged with treason. In 1957, the Soviet Union launched Sputnik, the first orbiting satellite into space. The New York Yankees won the World Series, beating the Brooklyn Dodgers 4-3. Don Larson was the MVP, and he pitched the only perfect game in the World Series history. And the New York Giants were NFL champions, beating the Chicago Bears 47-7. And then for events in Akron on, well, I guess from Tuesday, July 20th to September 19th, the Akron Art Museum will be holding their exhibit Bold Color in the 1980s. It's free on Friday and Saturday, and it goes from 11 a.m. to 5 p.m. Then Friday, August 27th, so this Friday, the Little River Band is performing at Lowe's Theater, if that's how you pronounce it. Tickets are $43 each. And then Saturday, so this coming Saturday, we have our service event, the Kenmore Cleanup Day, and that is going to be like a trash pickup style day. I'm sure maybe Tina would love to talk more on that. And then Saturday, also we have the Cornhole Tournament, which is being run for Rotary Camp. Proceeds go to the camp, and that's from 8:30 to 2. And then Saturday, also in the afternoon, if you want to hit this up after volunteering, the Akron Brewing Company is hosting Lagerfest. So come and join for some food and drinks and music. Then from Tuesday, September 14th, Stan Hewitt's hosting the Break the Cycle of Addiction, which is an annual event hosted by CHC Addiction Services. It'll be an opportunity to kind of mingle with community members and friends. And all proceeds will go to the programs provided by CHC. And you can follow that link to get the tickets. And then from August 28th to October 29th, at the Akron Women's City Club, they'll be holding an exhibition of landscapes and maps dedicated to Bruce Kiefer. And the gallery is open from 9 a.m. to 3, and then they'll be holding their reception on October 16th. Thanks.
Thank you for that, Olivia. And we're privileged to have Tina with us. Tina Boys has been heading up the Community Development Corporation in Kenmore. And if you've not been to Kenmore lately, folks, you need to take a drive through because there's a lot happening. And so, Tina, we're honored to have you with us today and look forward to being with you on Saturday. And maybe you could just share a little bit with us about what's been happening.
Sure. Well, we've got a lot of momentum, as you mentioned, Steve, here in Kenmore. We had 10 new businesses open this past year during the pandemic, and our Kenmore First Fridays, once we started doing those every first Friday of the month, it feels like the whole community just started coming out. And there's a palpable sense of people kind of beginning to see the value of taking ownership of their neighborhood. So it's been nice to see people from outside of the neighborhood, but also it's great to see more and more people from inside the neighborhood starting to engage. So that's super exciting. And, with the cleanup happening this Saturday, I think we're starting to see more and more of our residents, our stakeholders. Just a dad from Akron, if those of you who have been following some of the news, he has a business on Kenmore Boulevard. He's also helping to co-chair the cleanup as well as Kenmore Chapel. And I know, Steve, you've reached out to 100 Black men as well as Goss Memorial Church here in the neighborhood. So there are people that are going to have boots on the ground at this thing. And, I think people have felt alone in Kenmore in this work for a long time. So for you all to be able to come alongside and support that and show them that this is valued and it's noticed, I think it's a really great opportunity for that, for families, for colleagues, for friends, you name it. So come on, come all, we'll have snacks.
Thank you, Tina. And what's perfect about this is that it's outdoors. And I know that there's been a lot of recent concern, obviously, with this Delta variant and the effects that it's been having. But when you're outdoors and you're moving through the neighborhoods and you're picking up trash and helping to beautify a part of the city, it's an incredible opportunity. And plus, I've said in the past, and I'll say it again, it is literally impossible to get involved in serving in some capacity and be involved in a project like this and come away without feeling blessed, because we're wired that way. In fact, they've done studies on the human brain that by being involved in giving and in serving, it literally is like pouring health back into you. So just want to encourage everybody, come on out Saturday from 9 to 11. It's only going to be 2 hours, but we're going to get a lot done. And you're going to be able to see and sense and feel what's happening in Kenmore. And happy days are here and better days are ahead. So look forward to seeing everybody that can make it this Saturday from 9 to 11. So now we're going to take this, we're going to parlay into happy dollars. Is anybody happy today? Laura Smiley.
Hi, everyone. Hey, I'm super happy today. One, to have Tommy on the call. I know we've had a little technical hiccup here, but I think we got it figured out. We're working on it here, but really happy to hear that Rotary is going to Kenmore on Saturday. I'm a big believer in Kenmore and everything that's going on in the Boulevard. And I got to send a long distance high five to Tina, because I am a big believer in what she's doing out there. So atta girl, by far, you're amazing. You're doing good stuff out there. So, and I'm glad that Rotary can be a part of that on Saturday. I am going to be traveling for work, so I can't make it. So I have 10 happy dollars to donate to Kenmore, and I promise I will be out on the next on-site visit to Kenmore.
Thank you, Laura. Thank you very, very much. Cheryl, I saw that you had your hand up.
Hi, I want to thank Jack Herrig for getting over to see John Daly and getting his computer working, getting him to the doctor, and just doing so much behind the scenes last week. Jack, thank you. I'm giving 10 happy dollars for all of your wonderful help. And I'm just going to spotlight John right now so we can all see him. Hi, John. Everybody wave to John. And we're so glad to have you with us.
Claudine, you're happy. You're not happy? Anybody else happy today? David Hall.
Thanks, Steve. I got 2 happy dollars. The first, happy for my daughter down in Florida. She's back to school, classes tomorrow, and they've already had some scrimmages, and they're playing the Orlando Pride today, which is a professional team down in Florida. So hope they have a good game that should be finishing up here anytime. Hope to hear that they did well. Number 2 happy dollar is for my invocation and greeters. Thank you for everybody that's helped out. I am looking for an invocation speaker for next week and a few other invocator and greeters in the next couple of months. So if you're able to get online and take a look and help out, that would be great. If you have trouble doing that, please let me know and I'll be happy to get you signed up. And again, I let everybody know, if you're invocator the Friday before, I'll give you some guidance. I'll give you some examples, some websites you can look up to either use someone's invocation or create your own. And for greeter, then I let you know the day before that you're going to be the greeter and moderator. So kind of walk you through it. It's a great way to be involved. So if anybody can help out, I'd really appreciate it. Thanks, Steve.
Thank you, David. Hey, Thane, I saw your hand was up.
Hey, good afternoon, everybody. Yeah, so I have 2 happy dollars. The first happy dollar is for Tamara Mora, because I don't know if you know this, Tamara, today is your 4-year anniversary of being a Rotarian. Did you know that? Do you know why I know that? It's because Tamara was inducted 1 week after me, and I thought I was all cool because I was our club's newest Rotarian. Then Tamara came in the week after, and everybody likes her more than me. But congratulations on 4 years. That's my first happy dollar.
Thanks, man.
Thanks,
And I am cooler than you.
Oh, we all know. We all know
great.
this.
Hey, Julie.
Second happy dollar is for my friend Tom Knauer. Tom is a guy that I became friends with through Rotary. He and his wife Missy joined me and a couple of my friends last Friday. We went out to the Stan Hewitt Gala, got all dressed up, had a blast. Tom is also cooler than me, which again is not surprising, but we had a good time, threw back a couple cocktails, and then did a little bit of dancing. So I really enjoyed hanging out with Tom and his wife Missy.
So Thane, quick question. What was your major in college?
So I had 2, accounting and economics.
Okay.
And then I got a master's degree too. So
I wondered if you had if you also had a degree in knowing how to have a really good time.
I know you would think, because I was educated to be a nerd, like literally economics and accounting. It does not get worse than that, but somehow I figured out how to have a little fun along the way.
Good for you. Good for you. Hey, Miss Julie Brandel, I see you have your hand up.
Yes, I have my hand up. I'm very excited for our new inductees today. I'd like to give, well, of course I love them all, but $15 today for Laura Duda. 15 because we had our first lunch together at Lock 15, and I see many more lunches and maybe, I don't know, maybe some drinks in the future with Laura. She's going to be a great new member for our club. I'm attending for this weekend my first All Ohio Pets Planning meeting. So I will ambassador my way down to Columbus for us and tell you about it next week. I'm cautiously optimistic about what this means for my future. So we will see. So yeah, shout out to Lock 15. Thanks, Doug. You know, it's a great place too. But I think I'll let June talk, or no, Michelle Wilson, because Michelle's been waiting the longest.
Thank you.
Okay, you'll have to let me know, since I'm new to this, how I send in my dollars. So I have two also. First of all, I work with a organization that volunteers and helps out in Kenmore. So I'm going to reach out to them and see if we can come on Saturday too. They're called Forever Our Children. So we hope that we can join you guys along, so representing Rotary and Forever Our Children. So, so that's my one happy dollar. My other one is I am incredibly happy that we've been working on trying to help some Fulbright scholars that are in Afghanistan and their families try to get out safely. And one of them, we've had some great news. Whether our efforts, I don't know if that was part of what helped, but Australia has definitely helped them. This is a family member that had their eldest brother was a minister of oil and petroleum in the government. And they are now currently sitting in the Kabul airport in the Australian section inside the military part of the airport, waiting transport outside the country to go to Australia and get safe haven there. We are also working on another former Fulbright scholar. These are Fulbright scholars that studied at the University of Akron and became part of the Global Ties Akron family. And you guys probably know people in Akron that got to know and love them well. And that family also has a relative that worked very high up in the President Ghani government. So we're working very hard on trying to get that family to safety as well. So keep them all in your prayers, as I'm sure you all are watching and keeping Afghanistan in your prayers. Thank you.
Thank you, Michelle. Hello, Miss Carol.
Let me unmute. Hello, it's good to see everybody. I really am happy, and it's to keep on with the Afghan theme a little bit. As many of you may have heard or seen in the news, that Akron has welcomed a Afghan family into the Akron area, refugee family, and that the expectation is that Akron has been identified through the whole Northeast Ohio area, has been identified as one of the areas that may get additional Afghan refugees. So I'm offering $20 of happiness that our community is viewed as a welcoming community for people who are going to need an awful lot of help. And for those of you who would like to offer any additional financial support, which is really what's needed more than anything, the International Institute of Akron would love to receive any additional resources you might have, either dollar or human time, donations, things like that. But I'm very happy that Northeast Ohio is viewed as a welcoming community for people who are going to really need a lot of help and support. Thanks.
Hey, thank you. And boy, I tell you, the world is really facing a lot of turmoil right now, especially with everything we've seen most recently with Haiti. There had been another explosion in Lebanon a week ago. And then, of course, this massive crisis that's going on in Afghanistan. So thank you, Michelle. Thank you, Carol, for sharing with us about how we can participate in that. I do know that our dear Jack Herrig has an announcement to make. Jack?
I've got two happy dollars. One is for Jeff Kemp, Dr. Jeff Kemp from retired Akron Children's Hospital and Rotarian, or former Rotarian. He's visiting his mother and without connection. So he called me to ask to give an update on what's going on in Haiti. The Foundation at Akron Children's Hospital will have a container full of medical supplies ready to be shipped later this week. And it is going out, it's funded by the donations that various people have made. And the Marine Corps is arriving probably as we meet here in Haiti, and they are going to start transporting people, children and families from the devastated area to St. Damian's Hospital, which is fully functional, operational. It was not damaged, but they are going to be overburdened and they're needing medical supplies. And that's what's coming from Akron. Just another sign of how generous this community is. And the other happy dollars relates to Afghanistan and our veterans. Both our Vietnam veterans and our Afghan veterans are having a lot of trouble with what's going on over there. And I'd like you all to keep these men and women in your prayers. They're struggling with the validity of their duty, which was worthy. They served their mission well, and we want to give them all the support we can.
Yeah. Thank you, Jack. I really appreciate that. I want to share something with the group as well. Last week, when much of this was beginning to break in the world with what was going on in Haiti, what was happening in Afghanistan, I had actually been approached by one of our Rotarians that was deeply moved by what was happening, and had shared that they felt led to actually step up and give $1,000 on behalf of what was going on in Haiti. And so I'm going to do something I've never done before. Obviously, I'm only 2 months in as president of the club, but with what was shared today about Afghanistan and what we know that's going on in Haiti, I'd like to encourage us. And if you're willing, I'd like to have each of us, if you're willing, and I don't want you to take a burden on this, but that we would, look to give $5 and send it in today's happy dollars. And if you want it for Afghanistan, you could say Afghanistan, or if you wanted it to go for Haiti, you could say that. But one thing I do know about Rotarians is we're exceptionally generous people. And when we're talking about our brothers and sisters in other parts of the world that are severely hurting, there's a way in which we can do our part and sow in a little love. And I know that Carol, you were very, very gracious, and some of you others have been equally gracious. And I'd just like to call us up to the consideration of $5 to go along with this money that's going to Haiti and some of the money that's already going to Afghanistan, so we can participate to bring part of the healing that we so wonderfully do as Rotarians throughout the world. So any other final announcements that anybody would have to make or like to make? All right, we've got some inductions today. We have 3 new members that are coming on as Rotarians. We're going to be welcoming Laura Duda, Candace Harmon, and Michelle Wilson. Fellow Rotarians and honored guests, on behalf of the Rotary Club of Akron, it is my distinct privilege to induct 3 new members today. Please allow me to introduce candidates Laura Duda, Candace Harmon, and Michelle Wilson. And let me say, ladies, you are beginning a great adventure in leadership, friendship, and service to your community with your invitation for membership. The Rotary Club of Akron has accepted each of you as a person of good character, high ethical standards, a person who has a heart for service, and a person who will represent the classification of a community leader. We've invited you to become part of this worldwide organization dedicated to encouraging and fostering the ideal of service above self. You will ultimately be receiving the official Rotary name badge and pen featuring the Rotary wheel, the international symbol of Rotary. I encourage each of you to wear it proudly. Ladies, you've been invited to join Rotary, but it will be through your own actions that you truly become Rotarians. We encourage you to learn all you can about Rotary and to strengthen your own leadership and communication skills by actively participating in the activities of this club, including weekly meetings, social events, and service projects. You'll be provided with many opportunities through the club and the district to enhance and expand your professional and personal skills and these opportunities will provide great value to you. You will also be provided with a number of opportunities to provide service to others through club service, vocational service, community service, and international service. I invite you, fellow Rotarians, to freely give of your time to make Laura, Candace, and Michelle feel welcome and to provide them with guidance and friendship. Fellow Rotarians, please help me welcome Laura Duda, Candace Harmon, and Michelle Wilson, our clubs and the world's newest Rotarians. So welcome, ladies. And at this time, what I'd like to do is I'd like to have each of you just share for a minute or two about yourselves. And since I mentioned your name first, Laura, we'll let you start.
Thanks, Steve. And it's really nice to reconnect with old friends and also to make some new ones. So I'm really excited about being back in the Rotary fold. I work for Goodyear, but probably the most interesting thing about me for purposes of this group is I've actually, Rotary has been deep in my heart for many, many years. I participated in a group study exchange program where I lived in India for several months. Back in my early adulthood. And this was an experience of cultural exchange where I lived with families. So it was a very, I think, deep, moving and transformative experience that changed my life. And I participated in polio plus immunizations. I visited rural areas where the only reason there is a hospital, an ambulance, a school is because Rotary provided it. So to me, that connects me very deeply with the foundation and Rotary in general. That led me with a number of other scholars to form another club in Tampa, which is where I'm from. And I ended up being president of that club during Rotary's centennial year. So a lot of love for Rotary. I'm really excited to get as involved as I can. And I appreciate all of you for the warm welcome, and especially Julie for vouching for me directly. Thank you.
Welcome back. Welcome back. Candace, love to have you share a little bit about yourself with us.
Thank you so much. So I'm brand new to Rotary. I've never been a part of one before, so I'm very excited to get involved. I was with Girl Scouts for a long time, 20 years or so. So service and community involvement is something that I'm used to and I like doing, and I'm excited to do that with Rotary. I'm also a huge camp nerd, so I'm kind of excited that we do stuff with the Rotary camp. I was a camp director for a long time, so that's kind of why. Right now, I currently work for Jogs for House graduates. Let's see what else. I'm from Medina County. I live in Akron now, which is exciting. I went to Akron U, go Zips, and I'm just excited to be here and get to know all of you. I know some of you I don't, so I'm excited to get to know the ones I don't and to connect with some of the ones I do. I was out of the Akron area, so to speak, for a hot minute when I worked at university hospitals. I was more focused on Cleveland or in Cleveland, and I didn't have time to do things down here. So I'm really excited to reconnect with everyone in Akron. So thank you very much.
Well, we're delighted to have you, and we look forward to getting to know you as well. All right, Michelle, we'll let you bring it home.
Hello, everybody. Michelle Wilson, and I'm Executive Director with Global Ties Akron. And so many of you I have met through that role over the years as I've brought international leaders to meet with you in whatever role that you play in your organizations throughout the community. And I have connected with Rotary throughout the years, been a speaker. I've brought many international groups out to the Rotary Club to learn about the amazing work that's done to help out our individuals with various disabilities, and especially to provide opportunities for young people that have disabilities and respite care for families. So it's been a long time coming that I, have wanted to join Rotary, but I also know my schedule of, raising a couple of kids that, are now in college or beyond college. I have one that's still working on his doctoral degree, but been involved with many nonprofit organizations and donate a huge amount of my time, but just making sure that I have enough time in my life to fully dedicate and be actively engaged and involved, because I never want to do anything half-assed. So I'm really glad to be joining and become involved with our Akron Rotary. So thank you so much for welcoming me.
And thank you, Michelle. And it's great to have you, Laura, Candace, and Michelle. And we look forward to getting to know you even better. So now I'm going to introduce today's speaker. Today, we're honored to have Mr. Tommy Bruno. And Tommy is the General Manager and Executive Director of the Summit and the Summit radio station. And let me start by saying, before I say anything else about you, Tommy, thank you to you and to Laura for the gift of the tickets you gave us for Blossom Music Center to be used by the club. The concert was on Sunday. It was delightful, and it was actually even somewhat cool, but thank you for thinking of us and your kindness. And so back to Mr. Tommy. He is responsible for fundraising, business development, and the strategic growth plans of the radio station and its brands. He also works closely with Friends of the Summit, an independent support and management organization dedicated to growing the mission. Prior to being named general manager in 2000, Mr. Bruno served as a producer for WJW-TV, a Fox network television station in Cleveland. Now, together today with a talented team at the Summit, Tommy co-created and operates 3 award-winning online streaming radio stations: Kid Jam, TM, Radio, Kid Jam, radio.com, featuring positive music and programming for young listeners, and Rock and Recovery.com mixes music with stories that will inspire listeners and messages to give strength and hope. And the 330, the past, present, and future of Northeast Ohio music. Tommy has served on numerous nonprofit boards and advisory groups throughout the region: the Akron Community Foundation, the Northern Ohio Golf Charities, the Summit Education Initiative, Akron Public Schools, John Carroll University, and Walsh Jesuit High School. And Tommy, it's my pleasure to welcome you. We look forward to hearing what you have to share with us. And thank you for all of the wonderful work that you do in Akron and in Northeast Ohio.
So I just want to say thank you, Steve. We're having technical difficulties on Tommy's side, and he was unable to log in on video with his chart and with sound. So I guess I'm Tommy Bruno for a moment. I apologize. He does a much better job than I do when it comes to public speaking about the radio station. He truly is a professional and a great leader here at the Summit. Maybe it's a blessing that we had 3 new members join today and had some other really great conversation leading up to this moment. But just real quickly, I just wanted to give a quick rundown about the Summit. I'm hopeful that we can reschedule and have Tommy speak, like I said, more eloquently than I do on the station. But just real quickly, the Summit, we are 91.3 here in Akron. We're also 90.7 in the Youngstown, Mahoning Valley. We've been on the air for over 65 years. The radio station is actually, the license is held by Akron Public Schools. It's an affiliation that we keep close to our heart, as our 3 pillars at the radio station are really about education, community, and music. If you haven't given us a chance, my request would be give us 3 songs at the Summit. You can stream us right there from your desktop online at thesummit.fm. You can always catch us in your car or at your house also. But we're great music for during the day, just enough upbeat to keep you awake and moving. Also just enough curiosities and quirkiness to kind of keep you curious about what we're doing here at the Summit. So we're actually 3 radio stations, well 4 if you count all of our online stations. We are the Summit, which is kind of the umbrella for the station. We are also rockandrecovery.com, which is celebrating 10 years in September, 10 years of serving the recovery community. What you find on rockandrecovery.com, as well as the Summit airwaves from 10 to midnight every night, is specific programming that focuses on folks who are not only in recovery, but perhaps are going through just anxiety, grief, all the mental health kind of struggles and stuff that we all deal with. The music is all positive and uplifting without being too cheesy. In between the songs, you'll hear messages that just say, hey, focus on today, get through today. Tomorrow's another day, and we'll do it all again tomorrow together. So that's kind of a very, very quick generic overview of rockandrecovery.com. We also have the 330.net, which is all local music 24/7. And if there's anything we can brag about in Northeast Ohio, it is the talent of musicians that we have here locally in the 330, as well as a little bit of the 614 and 216. So the 330.net 24/7, all local community radio. And then we are also Kid Jam Radio, which is 24/7, appropriate, clean pop music for kids ages kind of 7 through 14. I like to say when you're too old for Veggie Tales, but you're not quite ready for all the lyrics of Britney Spears, that's the music that you're going to hear on Kid Jam. It is the only radio station that has been approved by Akron Public Schools to be played on their school buses. You never have to be afraid that someone in the back seat is going to be singing along with a song that maybe they don't quite understand all the lyrics to, or you wouldn't want them to repeat at a family dinner table. So that's Kid Jam Radio. One other program that I just want to touch on here at the summit that I'm really, really proud of is our Marilyn Stroud Music Alive program. And this is one where I'm going to ask all of my fellow Rotarians to kind of rally behind me on and think about what you might have in your garage or in a closet or at home under your bed. The Music Alive program upcycles gently used musical instruments that perhaps maybe were purchased by your household for a young musician, a student while they were in high school that maybe they don't longer play, or they've moved on to something bigger and louder and bolder. What we do is we collect those used instruments that still have a ton of life in them. We get those upcycled and we give those back to the hands of students who maybe could not afford the rental on those instruments, and it gives them an opportunity to learn to play something while they're in school without having to be strapped by the finances of it. The Music Alive program is in partnership with Taylor Band and Music. They do a great job for us. We have at this point upcycled over 500 instruments that have gone back to Akron Public Schools, Canton Public Schools, and Youngstown Public Schools. And it is a program that I'm super, super proud of that the summit is part of. During COVID, it was really interesting. You know, everyone's on lockdown and was spending a lot of time in their house. I think I picked up 95 instruments in 4 months from folks, you know, because they were at home kind of cleaning out their closets and getting reacquainted with maybe some of those dark spaces that they haven't looked at in a while in their homes. And that was kind of my lifeline to the community, was picking up instruments off folks' front porch and saying hi to them and hello. But the program is thriving, it's strong. With school coming back into session, we are always looking for more instruments. We don't take pianos, like full-size pianos. We have taken keyboards and drum kits. And it's really pretty exciting to put those instruments back in the hands of students, or to give those to music teachers who already know the students who are looking for specific instruments. So yeah, if you have an instrument under your bed, I would love to connect with you and get that into our Music Alive program. It is a tax write-off, so you get all the tax forms for it saying that you've made a donation. We are nonprofit, so it all kind of goes back into the good of the community. So that is a super quick snapshot of the summit. Again, my apologies that Tommy couldn't join us today. He does a much better job in presentation with what we do here at the summit. We're very busy. There are 7 of us running 4 full-time radio stations. And the days are long, but it is good. I think I have the coolest job in the world. It is my job to find out all that's awesome and amazing going on in our area. And I get to share that on a microphone with all that are willing to listen. So there's a lot of good in Akron to be celebrated.
Thank you, Laura. And before I open it up to any questions anybody might have for you, I know that you and I had actually spent, I think, about an hour out there at your studio at Elliott High School, and it's gorgeous. And the potential of what you have right there is somewhat amazing. I know you even have some musical venues there, but I was curious because it seems like with the 3 radio stations and and some of what you shared with me in the past, and even your connection with the Rialto Theater there in Kenmore and such. Anything you could share with us regarding the vision for the days ahead? Because it seems as if you guys have been almost a little bit supercharged as of late.
So right now, because of the flare up of COVID and the Delta variant, things are kind of in flux, and I feel like they're changing day to day. As I'm sure many of you can relate to also with the locations that you visit, and specifically with music venues right now. So we had plans, we have about an 85-person seated musical studio here at the summit called our Studio C, where we invite in national and local performers to perform for our summit members. It's a really cool, intimate experience, and it's definitely one of the perks of becoming a member of the summit. We had plans to reopen that space September 1st. That is currently on hold. Again, we just want everyone to stay healthy and safe. We love live music, don't get me wrong. You know, it's been busy the last couple weeks. Porch Rocker, absolutely amazing. Huge shout outs to Katie Miller and her neighbors and her neighborhood association for putting together that event, because it really is my favorite day in Akron. I think they had over 160 bands play, 70 of which of those bands are featured regularly here on the summit. So it's we have a really strong music community. I think the big thing right now is just to stay safe and healthy. If you have concert tickets coming up in the next couple months, my words of advice would be to visit your venue box offices. So if you're going to the Agora, or if you're going to the Beachland Ballroom or the Kent Stage, or even the Akron Civic, or the Canton Symphony, any of those events, make sure you check in on their website for what their individual policies are in advance of the night of performances. What we're seeing is a trend of a lot of the venues going to either proof of a vaccination or 2 days worth of a negative COVID test, proof of that. So that seems to be the trend right now. Again, it's all based on individual venues. So it gets a little tricky, but I would keep checking your websites and those venue locations, because I don't think they're ready to shut down live music. We're just trying to do it a little more safely right now.
Thank you, Laura. Does anybody have any questions for Laura? Tina.
Hey, Laura.
Hi, Tina.
So, quick question. I keep hearing this big announcement that's coming every time I turn on the summit. When is that announcement coming? Just curious.
Tina, you're putting me on blast here. So we are super excited here at the summit. During COVID, we have been doing a lot of planning and behind the scenes work, and the summit is expanding. That is what I will tell you for our big announcement. It's not very often that radio towers become available at a reasonable financial amount. The summit is independently owned. We're a small station, and we're competing with a lot bigger stations that have bigger budgets and ability to really push out their message. But we are very excited that we are expanding. There will be a new frequency coming to the summit. That's the best I can say right now. And we're excited for the future here. The music, even if things get shuttered down again, music is not going to stop. The musicians are at home recording and being creative. So heaven forbid we get back into that shuttered kind of mentality for music. Music will live on, and the summit will always be here. So I'm very, very excited for the future of the summit. I'm sorry, Tina, I can't reveal all of it quite yet.
Be patient.
Yeah.
And thanks for Laura, thanks for making mention of Porch Rocker. And I see Katie's still online with us. My family was down there on Saturday for a couple hours. And, you know, to your point, when you were talking about the stations, as it were, and how fortunate we are here in Akron, that event is nothing short of amazing. Yes. When you consider to have that many bands. And Highland Square is the perfect venue for being able to host it because of all those beautiful homes and those amazing porches. And thank heavens that the weather cooperated for everyone. But wow, I mean, just totally amazing. Any comments on this, Miss Katie?
Well, I just wanted to say, I actually had absolutely nothing to do with organizing it. That would be the lovely Miss Katie Carver-Reed, who is part of the Highlands Square Neighborhood Association. That being said, there were thousands and thousands and thousands of people walking around Highland Square on Saturday. And it was fun just to sit and people watch. And I saw a lot of people. And the music was fantastic. It was really hot and we had the baby, so we didn't take them out too much. And as the night progressed, there was a little bit more free spiriting, I guess you want to say, as maybe somebody had their red Solo cups as they were walking around. But the music was great and there was no problems with anything. And it's a great event and it's a great way to see live music when you can't be indoors.
Thank you. Any final comments, or anybody have a question for Laura and what's happening there at the summit?
Yeah, can I ask a quick question?
Please
So,
do.
Laura, could you tell us a little bit about advertising opportunities and kind of the difference between doing public or community radio versus commercial radio? Just what are the benefits of why people should advertise with you?
Sure, absolutely. So my role actually at the summit is the sales director. So occasionally you'll hear me on the air with a microphone, but my big role here at the summit is all of the money in. So thank you, Thane, for bringing that up. So underwriting with the summit is a little unique in the fact that we are a nonprofit organization. We're publicly funded. So underwriting with the summit is sort of like making a donation to the Akron Art Museum or to your local library system. But instead, what we do is we thank our donors on the air. So Thane and his family, the Billow Funeral Homes, have been a huge supporter of the summit, and we're so grateful for that. So basically, in a sense, what they're doing is they are making a donation to our radio station, and in return, we thank them on the air. So when you hear us say that we are commercial free, we are commercial free in the sense that there are no pre-recorded messages that are loud, about mattress companies or anything like that. Everything is read live, and those are all thank yous in the form of underwriting for the summit. I hope is that kind of clear? It's funny, that's a subject I talk about on the daily, so sometimes I'm not sure if I break it down so other people can understand it, because I talk about it all the time.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any final questions or comments that they'd like to make before I adjourn our meeting? Okay, before I close, I do want to say it's been so good to have Claudine Schooley here as a visitor, but she's really not a visitor. Once an Akron Rotarian, I guess always an Akron Rotarian. And congratulations to Laura and to Candace and Michelle. And we do look forward to getting to know you better. And so let me say this, I hope everyone has a safe, healthy week and that you stay cool, because I understand that it's going to be upper 90s all week and the heat index is going to continue to be somewhat unbearable. So thank you all very much for making an effort to come out to today's meeting, and hope to see you on Saturday for the cleanup project there in Kenmore. So with that, our meeting is officially adjourned.
You guys,
Hi,
thanks,
everyone.
Steve.
Have a good week.
See you, Laura. Good job.
Thank you.